Hi, art historians. We are in Module 2, Pacific Island Cultures, and this is Pacific Island Cultures 1, 2.01, Polynesia. So for this unit, we are looking at 5 core works and 8 supplemental works, and these range in date from around 700 to 1890 CE. So Polynesia means many or many islands, and so the islands that we're referencing here includes Hawaii, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Tahiti, Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, Wallis, Futuna, Niue, the Cook Islands, and Tokelau. So there are architectural sites, smaller scale works, and larger scale works, and the architectural sites include the Maori meeting houses. The smaller scale works includes your bark cloth as well as the Tahiri fly whisk, and then our larger scale works include the moai from the island of Rapa Nui, aka the Easter Island heads. And I don't know about you all, but I always think of Night at the Museum where Ben Stiller is attempting to greet all of his new friends after the sun sets, and that giant Easter Island head always says, "You dum-dum, give me gum-gum." So I'll post a picture that goes along with this as well. So let's talk a little bit also about the supplemental works. We have a pigment container, we have a terracotta fragments, the Paikea meeting house, and sorry about my pronunciation, doing my best here, but we have the Kukai Ili Moku war god temple figure. We have a photograph of the accession of a queen in a cape, the Hawaiian necklace, and Pasupalua Afe by Michael Tafari. So, Polynesia encompasses numerous islands, which has led to a really rich diversity of artistic styles as well as traditions over the various regions. And artists are primarily using natural materials for their art making, like wood or stone, shell, fibers, as well as many of them that are sourced really locally. So carving of tiki figures are representative of ancestors and deities, and they serve both as spiritual and decorative functions. We have textiles that are a very common medium, like that bark cloth, and it's also being the most prominent used, and they're very decorated with natural dyes, as well as patterns for ceremonial items or clothing. And then we have artistic expression that is mostly extended to functional objects, like canoes and tools, which is showcasing utility as well as artistry. And art is really playing a crucial role in rituals and ceremonies, with items like feather cloaks and ceremonial weapons and religious icons being intricately designed. So from the late 18th century, European contact had strongly influenced Polynesian art, and it introduced new materials and styles, which is also sparking a revival of traditional practices today, like we see with the Pasupalua Afe. So a lot of things that you have to keep in mind as well in regards to Polynesia is that the work that they're creating is not necessarily something that is going to hang up on a wall when we're done with it or when it's not in use. These are things that are not necessarily decorative and would go on a person's home, but they're really very functional. And so you have to think about art in that way, especially in regards to these Pacific Island cultures. The next unit that we cover is going to be centered around Melanesia and Micronesia, and the same kind of concept applies here. If the mask or cloth or whatever the object may be is not currently in use as part of a ceremony or ritual, then it is tucked away for safekeeping. It's not necessarily put on display for everyone to see. And that is not quite as traditional as we're used to in the Western cultures that are very heavily centered around these museums that have displays. For example, I live near New York City, so I've been to the Met a number of times, and I've been able to see a lot of the items that belong in both this unit and the next. And that isn't necessarily the way that these cultures would want these to be on display, even on display in general. So that's really something that's important to keep in mind when we're starting to explore these cultures and these peoples with their very beautiful traditions and artistic practices that are coming out of those traditions. So I hope you enjoy, and I will check back in soon. Bye!